Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, the day after Christmas, and I am back at it again. I was a little bit burned out from yesterday, so I am a little bit late, a little bit past 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and I am still here again because people have been bugging me about certain things. They've said that a lot of my shows, I get a bunch of, I won't say complaints, requests. How about that? That sounds nice. That people want me to get back into the solutions side of the show. I'm happy to do that, but I try so hard to give people the shows they want and also stay topical. My team wants me to stay topical constantly, so I get that. And I want to say nice things too. And people want me to do a Sharpe Solutions show and stuff like that. So I have a couple of options. Option one, do my best to make the shows that I can. Option two, just go into debt and just do 4 shows a day. I don't want to take option two. So I'm going to take option one, not do 4 shows a day and go into horrible debt and not work. I'm going to try to still pay my bills like I hope all of you. Speaking of paying bills, I think something that is kind of topical, right? Kind of topical and still solution-based is healthcare. Why do I say that? Well, I think all of you know there was a recent, let's say, violent outcome. How about that? From a certain chief executive officer of a certain type of insurance company that recently happened here in New York. And boy, are people up in arms in multiple ways. Some people saying it wasn't a bad thing, some saying it's the worst thing in the world, and back and forth. If this had been 20 years ago, without question, people would just be like, this is terrible. This is terrible, period. There'd be no other side, maybe ifs, ands, or buts. Now there's a whole lot of ifs, ands, and buts, and some people who are kind of actually happy about this. Why? You could just go, people are evil or dumb. No, that's not true. People are upset. People are angry. They see so many things going wrong. This becomes another thing going wrong. And one of the hardest things we have here is how we judge ourselves. Now, some of you will tell me, well, Larry, this is silly. Even in America, our poor people are doing fine. Okay, I guess if you compare this to some parts of the world, that's an accurate statement, but that doesn't matter because people don't compare themselves to other parts of the world. They compare themselves to their peer group, what they see here. And that's what we look at. And there is a whole lot of inequality in many ways. And now some people would say, well, Larry, if it's money, okay, that's not the issue, right? Because money is if you work hard, you make lots of money. I get that argument, not fighting the argument. Okay. But we're not talking about who has a bigger house, right? Even though that does matter and people get angry about that too. But this is what we're talking about. We're talking about healthcare. In theory, at least, we would hope we'd have a world to where most people can in some way, shape, or form, gain or have access to, how about that? Have access to quality healthcare. I think that's not a crazy thing to ask for. I don't think it's a crazy thing to desire, or I don't think it's a crazy thing for people to want to have in their society. I think it's actually not a bad idea. The question becomes, how do we create an environment or a system, whatever the case may be, where that can be true? Well, a lot of people would say, Larry, you don't get it. It's because these rich people have all this rich stuff. We need to have Medicare-for-All because people love Medicare. Well, I'll give you some history to it, and then I'll give you what's actually happening. Do people actually love Medicare? No. And no, Larry, I have data. Not true. They don't actually love Medicare. They love the fact they're covered. Now, the problem is, as I just said, we measure ourselves to our peer group. And if you got nothing, Medicare is awesome. When you got nothing. True. When you have nothing, Medicaid's awesome. You got nothing. I get that. When you at least can go to a hospital and not go into debt, that's awesome. I get that. But why do I say they're not totally happy with it? Because they always have to get supplements. The wealthy people get tons of supplements, and the wealthiest people don't even use it, except for crazy things. They don't use it. Larry, you tell me the rich people aren't using Medicare. A lot of them aren't. I know. I coach them. I talk to them all the time. They go to private doctors. They may use their Medicare, Medicaid for a general checkup or something. They may. But if they have a problem, they're writing a check. or swiping a credit card. That's what the wealthy do. This is why the wealthy are totally okay with Medicare for all. As I've said before, I'll say again, they don't want Medicare for all. They want Medicare for y'all. You all get Medicare. I'm going to keep my private doctor. And that's why they want private doctors. Some people say we still want private insurance. Some don't. If you're super wealthy, you don't care about insurance. You're super wealthy. You don't care. Doesn't matter to you, right? You have a problem, you write a check, swipe a credit card. You don't care if you're super wealthy. Insurance, no insurance, who cares? Unless you're part of the insurance companies, obviously, or you're investing in them. Then you would care. But otherwise, you don't care. If you're just well off, you want to have health insurance. So you can have a Cadillac plan that will back you up in some form if you get in trouble. Of course you do, right? A backup plan. Of course you do. The people who are most concerned are people who aren't wealthy or very wealthy. Those people need to be concerned, and I get it. My answer has never been everyone gets bad health care. Never been that, because it's never going to happen. What will happen is the regular people get bad health care and the wealthy still get what they want. I want us all to get good health care. That is what I would like. All of us, not just the wealthy. Look, are they going to be able to fly to Thailand and get some specialized doctor because they're wealthy? Yes, I get it. But even if you can't afford to fly to wherever, Taiwan or wherever it's the cool doctor of the day, you should be able to get decent healthcare, good quality healthcare, wherever you are in any given city. That's what you should be doing. The problem is we're not there. We're not there. And let me give you some examples. Let me give you a quick history lesson, quick, and then where we are now. And I'm going to use New York specifically as an example because I know New York best, and New York has the highest Medicare, Medicaid usage per capita of any state. Of any state. Number one. Yes. Take that, California. We're number one yet again. So let me move on if I could. This happened because of, and this will make some of you angry, but still true, because of the terrible president that FDR was. And I know people think FDR was a great president. He was not. He was a terrible president. In so many reasons why he was a bad president. But one of them is that he was the guy who said, let's have wage. Let's freeze wages. Let's do that. Let's freeze wages. And this way we'll make sure that everybody has to work for a company, and a company will have to give them health insurance. Let's do that. Let's regulate all our hospitals and stuff to a point where all of a sudden things don't work out well for anybody. Let's destroy the entire system to the best of our ability. And he began that. By the time as you move on in years, you just see more and more companies, right? And of course, this worked well after World War II because America, of course, was the dominant monopoly, and we had tons of people working and everyone could afford it. And it was all good. But now it's 30 years after, 40 years after, and now we've got real competition in the form of Germany, Japan, economically now, right? The people who were our military enemies, there is very few advantages to having your cities bombed into the ground. Very few advantages. Generally speaking, it just sucks. But there is one advantage. And the one advantage there is when you build stuff, it's all brand new instead of the art. That's the one advantage to it. And if you're bombed by Americans, we pay for it, which is what we did. Marshall Plan, Japan, we paid for Japan and Germany to build up massive, awesome factories, all brand new stuff, better than us. And of course, it began to compete with us. As that began to happen, things got worse for us, of course, as it did, but now we're still stuck in the same old stupid system. This system should have never existed. It existed because of that. Now we have it. Now many people stay with their job just for health care. They stay with their job just for health insurance. This is not the right type of system. So you might go, okay, Larry, I agree with you. Many people would say that. Terrible system. We got to fix it. You're right. So the answer is Medicare for all. If we go down that road, and New York State has been going down that road, New York State, most people, meaning over 50% of New Yorkers, are either on Medicaid or Medicare. That's correct. Most New Yorkers. If you ask a New Yorker, the odds are that New Yorker is either on Medicare or Medicaid. Yes, it is a massive amount of dollars that New York State spends. And out of 50 states, and you count 51 if you count DC, New York State ranks 38th. 38th out of 51. We spend the most. We spend over $4,800, something like that, almost $5,000 per person average in New York State for Medicare and Medicaid, either one of those two, right? I put them together because they're both it's both government healthcare, right? So over 5,000 about, which is the highest, and we're 38th. People aren't happy here. They're leaving. In fact, California actually is gaining people this year. 2024, California gained some people, a lot because of immigration. That's fine. We had immigration too. We had 200,000 immigrants come to our state, and we still lost people this year. In fact, not just that, we lost the most. So the most people are leaving New York State. New York State has the most Medicare, the most Medicaid. We rank 38th, and people are still leaving. This is not the best place to be. Now I'll go one step further. But Larry, New York State has some great hospitals. True. You're not wrong. People come to New York to get stuff done. True. Not wrong. That's true. And most of those people either come to a nonprofit hospital that is literally supported by charity, not by Medicare, Medicare. That happens a lot in New York City. It's a charity hospital. People just throw money at it because it's a great hospital and people don't pay anything for it. That's option one. Option two, wealthy people write checks or swipe credit cards. That's a very popular thing in my city. I know that. I watch it. I do it. I get it. When my daughter was having some issues that I wanted her to go to a doctor, I swiped my credit card. That's what I did. Because you do that, here's how it actually works for most people in larger cities. There are exceptions, of course. I have a problem. Okay. I think my foot is in trouble or my back is, or whatever the case may be, whatever the thing may be. I think I have a problem. So what do? Well, I need to call my doctor. Okay. He'll see you next Thursday, but I'm sick now. I guess go to urgent care. Okay. Go to urgent care. Urgent care is all over New York City. Why? Because you take that because you have to wait because you can't get an appointment. That's what urgent care is. For those of you who don't know, if you don't live in an area that has that, urgent care is everywhere. You go there and you got to pay for it. It's not that expensive, but they do things like, make sure you're not dying. Do I have to go to the emergency room? No. Okay, great. Here's the thing until you get your doctor's appointment. That has been our answer in New York State. Our answer in New York State, particularly the city, has been urgent care, which means you're still paying out of pocket. That's our answer until you can get to your doctor. You get to your doctor. When you go to your doctor, there are maybe one doctor or two, and most of them, they're sharing things because they can't afford to be on their own. They can't. So there's like 4 admin people. It's a broken down place where you're going to go to. 4 admin people, 2 doctors. They care more about, you writing, getting your information down than you're saying you're in the way. They get your information. Your appointment's for 3. In most large cities, you're late. In other words, if your appointment's at 3, you're seen at 4 o'clock, 4:15, 4:30. In most large cities, that's true. That happens. All of a sudden now, you're late. The doctor sees you for 5 or 10 minutes, and the incentives are all wrong. And this is why the FDR system is broken, because the incentives are all wrong. In this type of situation, the doctor makes money if you are sick. If you're not sick, the doctor doesn't make any money. The doctor makes money if you're on prescriptions. If you're not on prescription, the doctor doesn't make money. You might go, well, Larry, that's bad doctors. No, that's human beings reacting to a system. That's how it works. They do that. They have 2 choices. 1, they stay in the system. 2, they leave the system. What are we finding more and more people do? Leave the system. Well, Larry, they should know about hospitals. Oh, they can't do that. Because when Obamacare came out, and Obamacare was supposed to help everybody, it was also a disaster. Sadly, no one has an answer. The Republicans said they're going to fix it. They had no goddamn answer. They just talking trash. But it's still, they're right that it sucks, but they have no answer. So we're stuck with it, right? We can fix that too. I have answers, by the way. So now what happens? Let me do Obamacare first. Obamacare made sure that doctors cannot own hospitals. I'm not joking. It's against the law. Federal law, you cannot own a hospital if you're a doctor. So who's going to own a hospital? Bankers. Duh. Why are all these bankers buying up all these hospital groups? Because Obama made it good for it. Yeah. Because Obama, of course, was a rebel. No, he was an establishment guy like all the rest of them. He was an establishment guy he did fool a lot of us, though. I mean, he talked a good game. He did fool a lot of us, but he was an establishment guy like all the rest. So it was a gift to insurance companies and a gift to the financial sector. And boy, did it work. So the insurance companies got tons more money, tons more everything, tons more monopolies. And now who owns all the hospitals? Financial groups. Of course they do. Doctors can't do it. It's against the law. What doctors getting bought up left and right. You see it everywhere. Doctors getting bought up. Why? Yeah. Terrible. Terrible idea. So what happens in this case? They have to make sure you leave every time with a prescription or with a procedure or some kind of test, because that's how they get paid. But Larry, what can we do differently? You're talking all this trash. You hate this stuff. I do hate it. 100% I do. I do. What are we going to do? We are going to promote at the state level, because the feds won't do it. Promote at the state level, allowing doctors to open up whatever you want to call it, not a hospital. You call it something else. I don't care what you call it. As long as it's not a hospital, it doesn't break federal law. I don't care. It's called a hospital. It's a medical hospital. It's called a hospital. I don't care what you call it. It's that thing. It's not the federal thing. Call it something else. They can open up if they want to. Number one. Number two, in New York State, and this is most states, by the way, there's a thing called the certificate of need. You might go, well, what are you talking about, certificate of need? Here's how it works. I decide I should open up a hospital or a doctor's office, whatever the case may be. And the state goes, no, we don't think you need it. What? We don't think you need it. Yeah, but I'm a doctor and I think that we don't think you need it. I can't do. Yes, you cannot do it unless the government says yes. I wish I was joking. I'm not. The government decides how many beds the state has. The government decides what hospitals open up. The government decides this. They just decide. No, yes, no. Why? But Larry, then what if there's too many hospitals? Then the hospital will go under. Why do you care? Why does it matter? What if we don't have enough? Then we'll get more, because that's how the market works. Larry, how do you know that? Because there is literally a medical industry that is right next to that industry. It is an industry that is the non-essential medical care. Things like LASIK eye surgery, things like cosmetic dentistry, things like body enhancements, all those things, right? You might go, well, Larry, that's the same. People go under. People are getting serious. People could get in trouble. People have problems. Yes, it's serious care. These are licensed doctors that are doing things where you could get hurt. Yes. Where are all the thousands of deaths from these places? Is there malpractice? Of course, as there is in everything else, but where are all the deaths? Who's dying? In Mexico, they're dying left and right. Brazil, they're dying left and right. They're not doing it here. It's not no worse than every other hospital. No worse. In fact, actually, statistically better, right? But so, not just that. Is the world ending? No, somehow enough, whatever, cosmetic dentists open up in neighborhoods. There's not people like, oh my God, I can't find a cosmetic dentist. No, they're figuring it out. They go there. But I'm going to go one step further than this. One step further than this. In the case of everything medical run by the government, in every case, prices have gone up and service has gone down. Accessibility has gone down. In every case. But the one next to it, in every case, service has gotten better, price has gone down, and accessibility has gone up. In every case. When I was a kid, if you want to get cosmetic dentistry, you had to be like a movie star to get that. Now anybody can get it if they want to. Boob jobs, teeth fixed, whatever. Used to cost tons of money. A lot of people get it. Not crazy. Everywhere. And most people aren't getting hurt or killed. You can afford it. The price has come down. Accessibility has increased. More people have access to better care. Where's the massive insurance companies? They're not there at all. Weird. No government involvement. I mean, in placing places, obviously government involvement, but nothing extensive government involvement, controlling like who puts up what. And not just that, no insurance. I mean, unless you want to get it, you could, but it's none required. Somehow in every case, it's better for everybody. I have two right there. Let me shift now to two industries that have changed their system and what the medical system should change too. Two. Number one, gyms. Gyms. Number two, tech. Let me give you both. Let me start with one that you probably all know about, gyms. You pay a fee to use a gym, whatever that is, X dollars per month, per week, whatever, per year, whatever you pay. Their goal is you never show up. That's their goal. They would love for you to never show up, right? They just want you to pay your fee and never show up. That is your goal. And hopefully you'll pay your locker fee and all those things and never show up. That's their hope, right? In fact, the more people who pay and don't show up, the better off they are. They would love that to happen. And then pay more and just don't show up. That's their goal. Their incentive is you don't show up. Awesome. Okay, got it. And if you want the extra, guy or gals and teach you how to do your reps, whatever, you can pay extra if you want to. If you're wealthy, you want to pay extra, you got extra cash, you care about your health, you need to get stronger arms or legs, you pay some guy or gal to get stronger arms or legs, whatever. Oh, good. Okay. IT, tech. For those of you who run tech companies, been around companies that have tech, you go back years ago, they had the same model that we have now for healthcare. And that was when your computer or your server or something broke, they then went there and fixed it. And they got paid when your stuff broke. If it wasn't broken, they didn't get paid. They hated for you to have your stuff working. Oh my God, I can't wait for it to break. How's it get paid? And it can't wait to spend hours at your facility. So they can keep charging by the hour. So of course. But then someone got smart and said, this is stupid. The incentives are wrong. He said, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna charge you per computer or per server or some combo per month, period. So whatever, $50 per computer and $100 per server, whatever the thing is. You got 2 servers and 10 computers. Okay, 10 times 50 is 500. 2 of those is 200. You're paying, what I just added up to? $700. $700 a month is what you pay. $700 is what you pay. And we're going to make sure remotely that everything is working. And now it's in my best interest as the IT guy to make sure nothing ever breaks. Because in my perfect world, I never have to show up. You just keep paying me $700 and your stuff keeps working. You pay me $700 every month and your stuff keeps working. So my goal now is to make sure your computers never go down. Because if they go down, now I got to go do work. I'm not getting extra money. I want my $700 for nothing. That's what I want. My incentives are exactly perfect. They line up with yours, right? They line up perfectly. You would like your computers and techs to never go down. I would like to never have to fix them. Pay me $700 a month and we're good. And that's how that works. That keeps going. Why don't we have that for our hospitals and for our doctor offices or our hospitals, whatever you want to call them? I don't care what we call them, whatever we call them. Why not that? Guess what? We already do. That system already exists. It gets shut down and destroyed by all types of regulations and all types of people who don't want it to happen, but it does. You use something like, as an example, you pay $150 per month. That's it, $150 per month. You show up, and whenever you show up, you pay a fee. Now, you might go, Larry, if I'm paying, what do I have to pay a fee? Because they tried this free. It did not work. I'll tell you why it didn't work. It's funny, but it's true. When they tried this, and they said, $150 a month, come whenever you want. Retirees would show up every day because they were bored, and they'd hang out with their friends at the office all day. That actually happened. So they're like, okay, we can't do that. We've charged them something. So they charged them like $5, a nominal fee that anyone could afford if you got sick. So you pay $150 a month and $5 if you have to show up. Now, what do you get for that $5? Whatever they have there. Whatever. If it's a hospital, you go to the hospital for $5. If it's a doctor's group, $5 for whatever it is. You get to go wherever. So if I happen to have in this facility, I have an OBGYN, I have a pediatrician, you go to whichever one you need. What do you need? You need that one, you take that one, you go. You go to the one that you need. And it's $5. That's it. What is my goal now? What is my goal now as a doctor? For you to stay healthy. I don't want you ever showing up. I want my $150 and I want you to never show up. Stay healthy. That's my goal. Just stay healthy. Wouldn't that be amazing? Already happening. People are already doing it. Now, here's the best part about it. The best part about it. I start this hospital. Do I need a bunch of admin people? I don't. Why? I'm not following all these federal guidelines and rules to get my Medicaid, Medicare money. Generally speaking, hospitals throughout the country get at least a third of their money out of Medicare, Medicaid. At least a third. Some 50%, but at least a third. So you literally cannot run your facility without Medicare, Medicaid. You can't. Therefore, you must hire people to follow all the rules and regulations. You have to. Otherwise, they're your biggest customer. Remember something. In this current model, you're not the customer. The customer is either the government or the insurance company, not you. You're not the customer. They're not here to make you happy. They're here to make either the insurance company happy or the government happy. In my model, you're the customer. So if I don't provide you with what you want, you go to a different one. You go someplace else. Think about that. You might say, Larry, that sounds great. I like the sound of that. It seems to work well. And it does. But wait a minute. How do we change that? How do we shift that? How do we make this happen? Okay. Very valid point. And it's not going to happen tomorrow, and it can't. The system is so broken, it can't. Here's the first step to this. And some of you think I'm crazy, but hear me out. It's a long-term solution. And I'll use New York State as an option. This can work in any state. New York State knows already by their actuaries about how much money any given person on Medicare or Medicaid is going to spend on healthcare any given year. They know this. If the actuaries know, okay, if you are this age, this thing, have this thing, blah, blah, hey, you're probably going to spend, I'm making this number up for sake of argument, $3,000 a year. Awesome. Well, Josh, you get $3,000 on a card that can be used at any medical facility you want. Enjoy. I'm not joking. $3,000, as long as it's a medical facility, enjoy. What will happen immediately? Doctors who don't take insurance will go, so I can get Medicare, Medicaid money? You can. Yes, you can. Okay. I like that. Yeah. They would begin to lower the price to get those dollars in. Yeah, they would never lower the price. They always do. It's how the market works. I literally just showed you that in the non-medical, the non-essential medical, it's already been happening. Not just that. I see it in New York City. Used to be you go to a private doctor and swipe your credit card. Used to cost $450. 1 minute visit. Now it's more like $200, $250. Still a lot of money. Again, you gotta be wealthy still. But it went down already. Prices do go down. I have seen it happen. Happens all the time. It can happen. They'll start doing that. Why would it? So, what if I get in trouble? Your Medicare doesn't go away. If you want to go to a Medicare doctor, you still can. I'm not stopping you from doing that. I'm just putting the money up front. Larry, it's going to cost a lot of money. No, it won't. Because when you give people that opportunity, they'll stop going to the Medicaid doctors. They'll stop going to private doctors. Why? Because they're better, faster. I know that because wealthy people go there. That's how I know that to be true. They'll start to go as the price will come down. Not just that as that happens, doctors who take Medicare, Medicaid will stop. They go, I don't want to take that now. Well, I'm going to start firing my admin people because admin is at least a third of their cost, if not more. I'll dump them. I don't need them. I won't take insurance. They'll come in anyway, start the credit card. Yeah. But Larry, what if I run out? You can always go back. If you have a problem that takes more, you still have it, right? It doesn't go away. I'm giving you the amount you should be using. Larry, what if I don't use it? Keep it. I just gave you literally a healthcare savings account. So if you don't use your $3,000 because you don't get sick, well, now you got 6 for next year. You don't use it again. Now you got 9. I just gave you a healthcare savings account. Why would I do something like that? Is that going to change the world? No, but it begins to change culture, which is the issue. That begins to change the culture. People start going, wait a minute, I see the value in this. I can do this. Doctors and hospitals, you know what? This can be done. It begins to change the culture to understand that this is the future. And I was going to say, well, Larry, some people are really poor. What if they got a big family and they can't afford $150 per kid? They can't do it. I get you. There are 2 things. I'm not getting rid of Medicare and Medicaid. If they have to fall back to it, they can. However, imagine if I do this now. I say, hey, hospital, here's my plan. If you take, and I'm making these numbers up for sake of argument, you can shift and move them all you like. Sake of argument. If you take 10% or a flat number like 50 or 10%, whichever one is higher, right? Is that right? Whichever one's low. No, whichever one's higher. Whichever one's higher, right? 50 or 10% of your population, right? Either one, 50 or 10%, whichever is higher, you don't have to pay any state payroll tax for any of your employees. Larry, now you're cutting their taxes. Yes, because then they will go, wait a minute. So if I take 10% or 50% of people that you, government, say are poor, if I just take them on, like they paid $150, then I don't pay payroll taxes? No, not New York State. No, not at all. No. Well, if I have 100 employees in some hospital, 200 employees, that's a lot of money. Well, now we're losing all that money. But we're not paying Medicare, Medicaid expenses. And you know who's cut out? The insurance company is cut out. Not just that, you could have a pharmacy in there. And now all those crazy middlemen for all the pharmacies are all gone too. They're all gone without me having to fight them or go to court. They're gone. We don't need them. The hospital could have its own pharmacy and give out whatever it wants to give out and just buy it and then whatever the case may be. Yes. Easy day, done. This can be done over time. It's not tomorrow. I wish there was a tomorrow answer. There isn't. There isn't. But over time, this actually could begin to happen. As this happens, we will see it. And we will literally wean ourselves off of Medicare and Medicaid to where it's that amount. Now, it will still exist because it will always be the special case, right? So we will still have what I call universal coverage. We'll still have it. Because if for some reason some person falls through every one of those cracks, it's still there. But it will become so tight. Right now, Medicare and Medicaid, I'm not joking, are a third of our budget. $2 trillion. How are we going to, this is unsurvivable. We can't survive this. It doesn't work. We have to find an answer. And the answer is removing insurance companies and removing the pharmaceutical companies in between. Give it all to middlemen. That's the answer. Make you the customer. That is not an easy thing to do. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. It's hard. But you begin this way. And when you start, what winds up happening is you start getting better service. It's already working. And again, I say this because the wealthy already do it. They already do it. They're already doing it all. But something else will happen. You'll have specialized hospitals, specialized centers for the people in that area that people will want and like. You'll have certain ones that have different types, of services for different types of people. You'll have all types. Of course you will. How do I know that? Because it happens now. It's already happening. You will watch things change if we change into this system. It will take time, but only one state has to do it. If one state does it, the rest will begin to do it. But something else, you'll find people come to a state for that. They'll go, oh my God, I can do this. You'll find people open up companies, open up stuff like that. And the big hospital groups won't be able to compete anymore, which is good. That's not a bad thing. The doctor's offices that are being bought up are making things worse, not better. And you see it everywhere, making things worse, not better. You all see it. People still don't like it. They're still unhappy. Things are not great. That is not the right answer. We can change it. I went long on this, I know, and I want to cover some more questions and comments. Let me grab a couple of these if I could. But I hope you at least understand where my head is. My head is not trying to force everyone to a Medicare-for-All system. My head is give everyone the same great service that the wealthy get. And again, maybe the government decides, I'm making this up, that you're poor, however they decide poor, is if you had a kid, you would qualify for free school lunch. Whatever. I don't want to add a layer. So no adding of layers. Whatever rules that your state decides, whatever poor is, whatever rules, if it's a number of income, if it's whatever, follow those same rules, right? This is the rule that says in my state, we classify you as poor, whatever that number is. Great. If you get taken on at the same level as anybody else in this facility, that facility pays no payroll tax. And you might think, is payroll tax that much? I was in Canandaigua a couple of weeks ago, and the owner of the place there, she tells me, she goes, do you know my payroll taxes are 90% of my payroll? Yeah. So if she pays someone $20 an hour, she pays $18 in payroll taxes. That's how bad my state is. And we still rank 38th. More money is not the answer. More centralized control is not the answer. I'm living in a state that is proof of that. That's not how that works at all. Imagine if she all of a sudden didn't have to pay that. Or paid half, right? Pays federal, doesn't pay state. Pays half. For all her people who work there. I'll take it. Yeah. Yeah. What did I do? Of course. Of course. Not just that. I don't know how your state works, but in my state, the bill is paid half by the county, forced. It's called unfunded mandates. So whatever your county has in Medicaid, Medicare damages, whatever that is, The state pays half, and you, county, pay half. Well, I don't have any money. Too bad, pay. Why? I can't fix my roads now. Too bad, pay. Well, I don't have money for schools. Pay me. Don't care. Pay. Imagine if that went away. And I can fix your local roads. You fix local schools. Because now this is working. This can be done, and we cut the middleman out. No more insurance companies, unless you want it. Look, if you want to buy insurance, you can. But you won't need it. You won't need it. And Medicare and Medicaid will still exist. But I guarantee you, with this system, within 10 years, cut by 90%. There'll be very few people on Medicare and Medicaid. Very few. They will voluntarily opt out. Why would they? And the people keep it. Here's the best part. The people who are on it will probably be specialized people. Say people who are very ill, that need specialized help. They'll go to Medicaid and Medicare. But guess what else will happen? Since there'll be fewer of them, more specialized, they'll get better service. They'll get better service because there'll be specialized doctors who know the type of people who will still be on Medicare and Medicaid. Those people will be there. Not just that. If we know that's a problem, you will find local people give. Yes. No, you don't give. Yes, St. Jude's Hospital. There's like 3 or 4 of them here in Manhattan that get insane amounts of money and have endowments. People just give money to them. Yes. So even if there was, say there's a certain group of people who can't do it and have to be on Medicare, Medicare. Okay, that could happen. I don't know the future. That could happen. Okay, well, I will know that. We'll have nonprofits step up and say, hey, these people, they can't do X, Y, and Z, help give. There'll be commercials on TV. And then some rich guy will want to have his name on a building or something, and he'll give like $10 million. How do I know that? It happens today. It already happens. So some rich guy will want his name on a building, and he'll give $10 million to this hospital or this hospital, whatever we're going to call it, right? He'll do that, and then they'll have money. It's happening now. Like nothing I'm saying isn't happening now. This is the actual answer. All right, let me grab a couple of these. Peace, logic, how are you, my friend? There needs to be a healthcare system for everyone, just like we have a fire department. It's a necessity. It's the same with healthcare. Collectively, we need to chip in. Agreed. And here's the issue, right? You will find the dollars will shift up and down, right? And there will be specialties, and they'll begin to mix and match because it always happens, right? There'll be like a special doctor's office for children, right? And then there'll be a special one for like pregnant moms or something, right? And they'll make an agreement. Hey, you could do $150 and go to, Dean's Hospital, or if you want to, you could do $300 and you can go to any of the 3 you want, or something like that. And that'll be the answer. And they'll add those things up. And people who can afford to go to all 3 will. You can pick and choose, right? You're a woman who's now pregnant. Okay, well, I don't want the regular one. I want the one for the pregnant one. So you stop your payment on that one for a month or whatever, or for 9 months, I guess, right? Whatever time is. Do another one. Do 9 months for that. Imagine if you had a hospital that was just for pregnant people. That's it. Pregnant women only. So everyone was there. How specialized would that place be? It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. And you spend your $150 or whatever you do there. And if you're not wealthy, no worries. You get part of the plan to get in there. They'd give up their, they'd be able to voluntarily say, hey, I'll take you in. And then I get my money off for my taxes. Win-win. And if, again, all that fails, Medicare and Medicaid still exists. Still exists. If you got to go there, you can. So yes. Peace goes on to say, and we need to promote healthy lifestyle, exercise, good food. Now, here's my point. If you're part of one of these things, Dean, you're part of Kim's hospital, and you're paying your $150 every month. She doesn't want you to show up. She doesn't, because that costs her money. She wants your $150 for nothing. Of course she does, because she's running this hospital, this hospital. She wants it. What's she going to do? She's going to actually give you the best advice she possibly can to keep you as healthy as possible. She wants you in for a yearly checkup, and that's it. This is what she wants. So it's now in Kim's best interest to study exactly what a healthy lifestyle is, exactly what good food is, and to help promote it for you. Right now, is it in the doctor's best interest to know anything about nutrition? No, that's why they don't. They don't. Why should they? If you're in good shape, they don't get paid. The incentive is the opposite. I'm not saying those are bad. They're following a system. But if the system said, hey, I hope you don't only show up once a year to make sure everything's good, so I don't have to keep, seeing you, Kim will go out of her way. She'd probably hire somebody whose job is to check in on patients to make sure they're doing the right stuff so they never show up. That would be a great thing. Kim might even have a system to where if you join in, you could join in with like weekly groups and monthly groups on how to do X, Y, and Z. Why not? It would make sense. That would be her incentive. Of course she would do it. How do I know this? Larry, you're making this up. I'm not. Insurance companies now give discounts to businesses that have health plans. Yes, it's already happening. Why? The incentive is there. The incentive is there. I hope you guys see that I am not against universal health care at all. I am against Medicare-for-All. I think that is the wrong answer. I think we can find the right answer. I don't think Medicare-for-All is it. And I've explained what my plan is. I at least have one. Republicans don't. They just got, I'm mad, which is not a good plan. Democrats have the terrible Obamacare, which is a disaster. Republicans got, I'm mad. Those two aren't plans. I gave you a plan. You don't like my plan? No worries. We can talk about it now. I gave you something to work off of, and you can tell me I'm wrong, I'm right, whatever. But you can't tell me I don't have a plan. I just gave you one. We do have a plan. And it's a plan that does not require force at all, and doesn't pull the rug out from people at all, and doesn't punish rich people, and actually gives poor people a better opportunity and allows local people to grow. Yes. All right. Joel says, the same way easy student loans have made college costs go up, health insurance has allowed healthcare costs to go up. Yes. Remember, every single thing that the government has most control over, quality has gone down, accessibility has gone down, and price has gone up, right? Healthcare, military-industrial complex, education, whatever controls. What the free market controls, the opposite happens. How do I know that? Look at education. New York State spends over $30,000 per student per year to rank usually around 30th or so in overall education, depending upon how you, whether it's graduation rate, whatever. Assume you take colleges out, K through 12. Colleges, New York does better in colleges, but K through 12, in fact, Rochester school districts in New York State are the worst in the country. The entire country, the worst of Rochester. If you are the last time I did this, a couple years back, so it may not be exactly the same, but last time I checked, a couple years back, if you were a black male in certain parts of Rochester, the odds of you graduating high school were less than 20%. And we spend the most. Yet, private schools, the average private school, under 10K. Under 10. There are some that are, the very richy ones, 20 grand. Those, the wealthy people go to those here in New York City, some of those. But the average private school is under 10K. Some are 5 or 6K a year. I know I've sent my kids to private school too. I've done all the things, right? Under 10K compared to 30K. Government runs it, it goes up. That's how it works. Government runs our rents in New York City. Some of the highest in the entire country. Government runs our rents. Malay decided to stop government running rents. Rents dropped 30%. Yes. Again and again and again, I keep saying it. So yes. All right. Instant defense, I don't know what you're saying. Cut child support so we don't need barbed wire. I don't know what that means. I don't know where you're going with that. I'm not sure where you're going with that one. Instant. You get mad sometimes. I don't know what you're talking about. You get mad at me. Like say stuff and supposed to know what it means. I don't know what it means. Yeah. Anyway. All right, let me grab a couple more. You guys are going back and forth. I appreciate that. The back and forth you are going back. So yes. P says, I do like the idea of incentivize good health outcomes. Doctors get more money if I'm healthy, not sick. That's the point, right? The point is having the correct incentives. People react to the system they're in. Worse system, worse outcomes. Yes. Kim says, in my opinion, is everyone is responsible for their own health. That's true. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you also want a system, Kim, to where people have the best options to find the best information to get the best care possible. It still will be their responsibility to pick the right doctor or the right doctor group or wherever they're going, right? And of course, hopefully find the right ones who can give you the right background, right information, right? With the internet, you can find anything. You just can, right? It also does something else. With the internet, you can also find a whole bunch of stuff that contradicts each other. So you find the right doctor that works for you. I completely agree. But with that in mind, Kim, sometimes people are unlucky. Even if they're smart and savvy and do everything right, sometimes you're unlucky. Sometimes they have an accident. Sometimes they have a genetic issue. Health isn't all your fault or your, or because you're smart or savvy. Some of it's genetic, some of it's just luck. So you want to make sure you have that too. So yes. Joe goes on to say a good argument against healthcare insurance is look at LASIK surgery. Exactly correct. Yes. 100%. Yes. Kim says, believe you me, if everyone had to pay for their own health care out of pocket, they would be seeking and finding preventive care instead of sick care. I disagree completely, Kim. I think many people would just sit there and just complain and die. I see it everywhere. They would just do it. You want to give them a better system. It's called learned helplessness. It's a whole book on it, right? A guy named Martin Seligman wrote the book called Learned Optimism. And the opposite of it, in this book he talks about it, is a thing called learned helplessness. It's an actual thing. I know this makes sense to you, but it's a real thing. Look it up. It's real. Learned helplessness. You said it happened. So you want to make sure to have the right answer to the best of your ability, to give them the choices that they can deal with it, right? You want them to be able to do so. So Peace goes on to say preventive care is really important. Again, agreed. And I think you want an incentive to do that. You want people to do that. So Vivek, you were one of the people who are bugging me on this stuff. So I'm doing what you asked me to. Says, thanks, Larry. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. Had a friend over who was off Medicare-for-All, and Maha, quite an interesting conversation. I hope everyone's having a fruitful holiday. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Look, I'm not mad at people. A lot of libertarians get upset when people talk about Medicare-for-All. I get it. I do. The system doesn't work. This seems to work. Do it. At least everyone gets coverage. Yes, I see that. My problem is what I just said. At least. It's an at least mindset. I don't want Americans having at least. I want Americans having the best they can possibly get. And again, the wealthy get it. So let's give them what the wealthy get versus give them at least while the wealthy still get great stuff. So I do think that does matter. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. Missy says, please drop a like. Yes, I'm sorry, I did not ask this and I need to. Guys, click the button known as like, L-I-K-E. Please click that button. It does matter. It is important. People who want Medicare for all are going to be mad at me and probably yell at me. People who are libertarian will be happy to hear someone talking about another solution that isn't, Medicare for all. And also something else, people who are Republicans who don't have an answer could use an answer, and people who are Democrats could realize how bad Obamacare is and how bad FDR was, right? He broke our system. FDR broke our system. That's what he did, and Obamacare made it worse. So that's the right answer. And people go, Obamacare was Obamacare. And that wasn't good either. Like, I'm not saying that was any better, right? The sad part is, and you might say, Larry, why in the world are they not taking your answers? Why are they fighting it so much? By the way, if you just look for direct primary care, just Google it. It's everywhere. People are trying their damnedest to make it work. You are seeing it everywhere. It is going to happen. The reason why some of the bigger people are fighting for Medicare for all, believe it or not, trying something like that, some kind of public option or something, is to stop direct primary care. Because direct primary care trashes the insurance industry. It trashes all those middlemen in the pharmacy. It trashes all of them. And pharmaceutical companies will not be able to charge so much money anymore because they make it all to Medicare. That will go away. That will all go away. They don't want that. So that's why they're fighting it. But it is everywhere. It is, if we don't screw this up, it is the future. Also, please share this. It does matter. Yes, 100%. And please subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. It does matter. You can always, if you want to, and I hope you do, you can rant me on Rumble, or you can super chat me on YouTube. All good. Love that. You can also become a member. Member on YouTube, click the join button, $4.99, or you can become a member on Rumble only during the live. Click subscribe. Do that, and we can rock and roll. I do appreciate it, guys. 100%. All right. Thank you for that, Missy. It's great. All righty. Joel says, I remember back before the Clinton presidency, my employer paid all the healthcare insurance costs, no premium or copays. And he decided people with insurance should pay for people without. Yes. And again, I do think that we should have an environment to where people voluntarily do that, right? My problem isn't that we have an insurance system. I like the concept, right? I like the Amish concept of it doesn't matter if my house burns down, because my community will rebuild my house. I love that idea. The problem is we're doing that not voluntarily. The Amish are voluntarily, they're opting in. They're going, yeah, I got you. I agree. If your house burns down, I agree. I'm voluntarily, I'm gonna help you build your house. And we all agree that if my house burns down, you're gonna help me build my house. We all voluntarily agree. Awesome. I'm in. That's great. We can make a system, Joel, where people voluntarily do this, right? If I know if I pay my $150 and I'm good, and that's helping out Joel, well, fine. I know I'm good. I'm good. I'm voluntarily doing it. And now the hospital says, wait a minute. So if I help out someone who's poor by however the state decides poor, I get a break of my taxes? I'll do that. No, that wasn't required. They don't have to do it. And probably smaller companies won't do it because the amount they'll save on their payroll tax won't be that high. So smaller ones might not do it. That's fine. They might anyway because they want to be good or care, whatever. Good for you. Support you. And you know what else you can do? You can do it on your own if you want to. You can make it charitable if you want to. Up to you. And there will be companies that do that. How do I know that? Because there are now. That will happen. All of that's a good idea. So yes, that's the issue. Kim goes on to say, it's backwards to profit the medical industry and insurance companies. Yes. Yes. Mike Glass is here. There is no right to health care, and government intrusion has hiked the prices while mandating subpar performance. Yes, yes, and yes. And note, nothing I said, Mike, was forced. Nothing I said was forced. Everything I said was voluntary. You decide if you want to. I'm not destroying anything, not pulling the rug out from anybody, nobody. I am setting up a system that will get me better outcomes. Will there still be people who are screwed up? Yeah, but here's the issue. If you look at the people by percentage, the doctors who are sued, the doctors who are sued for malpractice, far more of them, by percentage, so not by numbers, by percentage, far more of them take insurance. Not by numbers, that's obvious, more does take insurance. I'm saying by percentage. Far more of them are sued who take insurance. Why? Because if you take insurance, and again, I've done both. If you've done both, you're going to know what I'm saying is true. You go see a doctor who takes Medicare, Medicaid, unless they're like a much older doctor who is doing it because they just want to, they got their cash, they don't care. And there's something like that. You find like, for some reason, a lot of them are Asian where I live in my area. They're like 80 years old. They take like 10 clients a day total. They're fine. They're just staying busy, right? Whatever, that kind of thing. They'll spend 20 minutes talking to you, half hour talking to you. If you get that, you don't have that. 5 minutes in and out, 5 minutes in and out. Because they're only getting a certain amount of money the government tells them they're going to get. Not just that. There's a worse thing here happening, Mike, and you probably know this. Try to find a doctor who takes insurance, who is going to encourage their kid to be a doctor. You're going to struggle to find one. You're going to struggle to find one. Go to any major city. Look at all the doctors. At least half of them not born in the country. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I don't care about it's not an immigrant issue. That's not an immigrant issue. We have a system that Americans don't want to be part of anymore. That's the problem. Something else you guys may not know. Do you know it's against the law for a hospital doctor to do a house call? Yes. Can't do it. Against the law. Why? Now, I'm not saying they would do it, but why? Why? Because they might make money on the side. So, got to protect them insurance companies. Yeah. Got to protect those bankers. Yeah. But again, in my point, I go to Kim's facility, and she thinks Dean might be doing something crazy. She decides to send one of her dogs. She sends Dr. Mike. Says, Dr. Mike, go to Dean's house. Why? Because Dean pays $150 a month. He's been paying for a year. So I already got, $1,500 more from him already. He hasn't showed up. Go check him out, Mike. Spend some time. Go to his house. See what's going on. Do a house call. Because Kim is a savvy business person and knows that she got to check in on Dean. So she sends Dr. Mike over. Mike goes up, checks him out. You okay? What's going on? Dr. Kim sent me over here. What's going on? Why couldn't you do that? That used to happen. That was a thing. Why? And for wealthy people, that still happens because they're not part of hospitals. They got private doctors. So wealthy people get that. Why can't we? Why can't we all get that? We could with this system, because Kim could decide, I haven't heard from Dean in a while. I'm concerned. And just reminds that Mike over there. Okay, Mike takes an hour out of his way to go talk to Dean. Dean's already paid $1,500 this year. She's fine. Just go, Mike. Go check him out. Now Dean gets personal service. What's going on? All good. What if Dean is bringing family and friends over? Dean brings me. Dean brings John. Dean brings the people over to start joining Kim's place. She's happy to send Mike over, Dr. Mike over there for a time. Who cares? He's bringing all customers too. Go check on him. This kind of thing could happen. Garrett Demand steps in. 10 memberships. Larry Sharpe, thank you so much, guys. Please jump on the memberships. As I ask you, memberships do count. They are important. And I will be doing a members show next month. So we'll be doing that. So please jump on board if you could. Garrett, thank you, my friend. You are the best. I appreciate that. So yes. So I agree with you, Mike. It's not a right. And nothing I said was forced. And at no point did I say that. But we can change the environment. We absolutely can. It is something we can do. So yes. The AC, how are you, sir? Kim, my medical gave a $100 copay for ER visits. You didn't end up getting admitted. Well, that's nice. Yep. All right. But again, the point is with this case, the copay has to be minimal because you're paying $150 per month, right? It's $5, $10, something like that, right? Well, Larry, some people can't afford. Yes, you can. Stop. If you cannot afford $5 to go to a doctor's appointment, if you cannot, you don't have an address. And if you don't have an address, you're going to the emergency room. And so you're being taken care of. That's how that works. If you have an address, you can afford $5 to go to a doctor, whatever the time is. You can afford it. That's to say people are starving. Not a thing. Not a thing. They make that up. That's not a thing. You can afford that. You can. Peace, thank you for the $5, my friend. The super chat. So we are a good group here, but let's not intellectually service ourselves. Solutions, a to-do list. Let's act. Well, here's what I would ask if you want to do a to-do list. Let me give you that if I could. The to-do list is reach out to your state, not federal, your state rep, whether they're a senator, a state assemblyman, whatever you have, and tell them about this. That is your homework. State rep, not your governor. Your governor will ignore you. And not your federal. They will ignore you. Your state reps, whether state senators, state assemblyman, and tell them about this. That is your homework. Do that tomorrow. Yes. There we go. All righty. Michael's going to say, honestly, Larry, the wealthy fly to the U.S. for healthcare. That's true also. From Saudi, Canada, UK, etc. Even the current system is better than socialized care in other nations. Correct. But again, they're all paying they're all paying cash. You're correct. They don't have insurance. I'm not saying you're wrong. We have great healthcare in America. That's true. But for the wealthy, not for the average person. So yes, if you have a lot of money, this is a great country to be in when it comes to health. It's a great country. Look at how many wealthy people live till 90s. Yeah, it's great. Gotta have cash. That's the only issue. I would like us all to be able to do that. That's what I'm talking about. So yes. All righty. AC agrees. He goes, yeah, everything's good if you're rich. I agree. You're not wrong, AC. And that's my point. True. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. The AC says, allowing big pharma to buy our politicians and to make it so that we can't exploit our buying power by grouping together is a bad answer too. Yes. And that's my point, right? I think you're totally correct. This is why I'm saying we don't want to go national with this, because big pharma controls national utterly. That's true. They don't control local as much because it's so much more expensive. It's one of the reasons why I really am about localization. There are many reasons why, but here's one reason. Imagine if I'm going to use New York State again as an example, use your state as you see fit. New York State has 62 counties. Imagine if each county actually had its own budget. That's really not how it works. The state budget has a budget, and the local budgets have almost no power to get. They maybe have 10% of the budget to spend. Everything else is mandated. So they have very little budget to spend. So imagine they did. They each had their own budget to spend. Well, now I'm a lobbyist. Well, I have an option. Now I got to go to 62 counties to get cash. And for every county I go to, it's less cash. But if it's all in Albany, I just got to go to Albany, our capital, one guy, bribe a couple dudes there, and I'm good. I get the whole kit and caboodle at one spot. Way easier. Way easier. It's more difficult to lobby when you decentralized, when you are localized and decentralized. Doesn't mean it goes away. It makes it harder. And I want it as hard as possible. See, I want them to have to work for this. I want them to have to fail. I get every individual person to say, yes, I want that. That's what I want. They go local, better chance some local reporter finds out. Better chance someone figures out and shows them what's going on. I got 62 chances to find corruption, right? I got better chances. I like your points valid. That's why you just heard me say local, local, local. If you get local people starting it, you might also get local sheriffs defending. And that has happened when it comes to the Second Amendment sometimes. You will sometimes find local sheriffs defending people against federal. It does happen sometimes. We need more of that too. So your point's valid. That's why I'm saying local. I agree with you. I'm looking here over at Rumble. Texas Spies historian says, yeah, but the memberships encourage them to return. Yes, keep getting members. Yes. Please, members. Yes, it does matter. He goes on to say, a portion of a large pie than of a small pie. Correct. Yes, that's why localism does matter. But there are many reasons why, but that's one of them. I completely agree. So, all righty. I am the legacy of Jenny Kasor. Why does New York Democrats want that state to turn into a communist S-hole? Because they're all making money off of it, to include the Republicans here. That's the reason. It's a massive grift. That's the reason. They all know that the Empire State's burning. They're completely aware of that. They know that it's going to collapse. They're totally aware of it. Of course they are. So get mine while the getting's good. That's the reason. Yes. Frank, how are you, sir? I have a friend who's a doctor. His group of doctors opened a surgery center, rehab center, luxury hotel, and airstrip on the coast of Banana Republic. They are booked solid until July of next year. Wealthy patients and their families fly there from all over the globe. Yes. Think about that. Why aren't you doing that here? Because they can't. They can't. Literally, it's against the law. They can't do it. And the insurance will get involved. Couldn't do it. Too expensive. They'd have to be able to say, because you have to have beds. So in each state, a certificate of need has to be issued for you to open up a hospital. You can't do it. It's against the law. Well, you don't bribe the right people, you don't get your hospital beds. Can't do it. Yes. Not just that. When you open a hospital, when they give you that, they'll make sure you have to use a certain companies so that they can hand out jobs. Of course it's corrupt. Yes. Anyway, you're totally correct. All righty. AC goes on to say Obamacare was just Romneycare. Yeah, it was Romneycare. I agree. Michael says moshpito. I'll take that. Whatever it takes. Yes. I'll take that. Yes. Mike goes on to say, Obama/Romneycare is just socialized healthcare. It was never intended to work and has yet to be fully implemented as it cannot function. Current systems are built on Obamacare and thus failed. I'm not sure with the first part. I do think some people thought it could work. I do think they believed it. I've talked to people who still think it can work. Now, it can't. You're correct. I'm not saying you're wrong, Mike, in that it cannot work. I'm saying I think you are wrong in that there are people who still think it can, like they are true believers. There's a lot of people who think Medicare-for-All will solve all our problems, and they honestly believe it. So there are a lot of true believers out there who honestly believe it. That's the piece. So, yes. All righty. Joel says, I don't understand the people who say, I hate Trump or I hate Biden, and then want to put them in charge of your health care with Medicare-for-All. Good point. Yes. Andrea says, I got stitches at an urgent care much cheaper and faster than the emergency. My point exactly. Urgent care is private market. Yes. Huh. Weird. That every time we talk about the private market, people are so mad. You can't do private. It's terrible care. It's all about the money. No, the government is all about the money. Every single freaking time I talk to you about government programs, I always go down and tell you, look at where the money is. It's never about the people. It's never about servicing people. It is always about the money. Every single fucking time I show you this, I tell you this, I explain how it works. And people go, but the government, it's about the money. They don't care about you. Never did. You're not the customer. You're in the way. Americans have been begging for a better healthcare system for decades. Do we have one? No, because they don't give a shit about you. You don't matter. Their donors matter. You don't. Please stop pretending like they care about you. They don't. The private market doesn't care about you. Yes, it does, because you're their customer. The private market cares more about you than the government does. Why? Because you're their customer. They can't force you to pay them. The government can and does and will. I don't want to pay for Obamacare. Too bad. I don't want to pay for Medicare. Too bad. I don't want to pay for Amazon. Don't. I don't want to pay for HBO Max. Don't. I don't want to pay for an iPhone. Don't. I don't want to pay for SpaceX. Don't. You don't have to. I don't want to pay for Twitter. Don't. Don't. I don't like how the government's going. I'm going to change it. You can't. I've tried. I've spent $1 million. I'm not making that number up. I raised $500,000 twice trying to change New York State. Couldn't do it. RFK Jr. spent $1 million trying to get on the ballot in New York State. Couldn't do it. I've tried to change it. They don't care. I went to the judges. They laughed at me. Some of you were there in court when they just blatantly dissed me. Did not give a shit what I thought. I told them what was happening, how it was working. I didn't care. Didn't care at all. So yes, Andrew, I'm sorry you got me all triggered. That's your fault, Andrew. You got me triggered. Yes. Private sector doesn't care. They care more than the government does. They give you better service than the government does. Every time. How do I know that? Because the wealthy don't go to the government. That's why. The wealthy go to what Frank's friend. The wealthy, as Mike said, fly here and go to private hospitals and write checks. They don't go to the government. The wealthy don't go to the UK and use their system. They don't use that shit. They come here. That's how I know. I'm not making this up. And people still keep saying, government, government, government. They don't care. It is so obvious. They are screaming it. They're screaming at you how much they don't care about you. They're screaming. Our last election, most Americans did not want Biden versus Trump. We got that until finally Biden dropped out. Not because we care, because they decided to get rid of it. They didn't drop Biden because we didn't like him. We didn't like Biden last year. They got rid of Biden because the donor class and the power brokers said get rid of Biden and gave us Harris, who we didn't want her either. So we got. They don't care. I'm sorry, you got me going. Let me, if I could, I'm going to take another rant over at Rumble. Thank you for that, Texas spy story. Retired Army counter intel. Top 3 reasons for espionage from the capture: revenge, ideological, and number 1, money, not just greed. Full-on deadly sin, avarice. Yes, I think that's correct. Yes, Joel goes on to say, always, always, always about the money. Yes, always about the money. Every single time. Government is a massive grift. Huge jobs program and huge grift. And we still keep looking for it. We need more federal regulation so we can get more jobs and go more into debt and grift more. We won't get any better service. We won't get any better service. Anyway, I'm sorry. The AC says, in China, it used to be you pay the doctors when you're well, not when you're sick. Align their incentives. Yes, correct. Yes, 100%. That's the piece. So, bees, knees, why are eyes and teeth always separate from health insurance? They are part of your body. They shouldn't cost extra. Fires me up. Agreed. But imagine if you had a center, as Frank said, his center, that his friend put together, it's just a center. So whatever doctors you have there, I want you to imagine something for a second, bees, knees. In this case, Kim opens up her, I made her a doctor today. Kim opens up her facility. She charges $150 per month for her as a doctor, and she has, maybe an admin person and a nurse. So she has a small facility, $150 per month. She gets 10, 20, 30 people. She starts making more money, raising cash, doing good. Now she gets a bunch more people, got families in. She goes, wow, I need some more bodies. So she decides she's going to hire Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is a pediatrician. She hires him, brings him aboard. He's happy. He's working, getting a paycheck. He's good to go, seeing customers. She's not mad at him for having good customer service. She doesn't rush him through things. Why? She's getting paid. Well, now she's a pediatrician on board. So now more families come because they have kids. So she gets more money. She gets 150 per adult, maybe $100 per kid, whatever she's doing, right? Now she got that. Well, Michael sees some help, so she gets another, maybe associate in to help out with that. She's hiring some more people, getting bigger and bigger. Well, I start getting a bunch of cash coming in, doing well, because her and Mike are savvy. So they try to make sure everyone's healthy, right? To keep Dean happy, everyone's healthy. They start bringing in more cash. All right. You know what we should do? Let's hire a radiologist and let's buy, I'm not joking, let's buy one of them big scanners. What are they called? Brain scan things, whatever those things are. Whatever. One of those, not PET scan. Whatever, that big thing. They get that big thing and they hire one of the guys who does it. And you go, well, that's going to cost you a lot. You get one of them scans who scans it. No. You know how much those scans cost? $5. They own the machine. They own the facility. The guy who does it is on payroll. It's $5. That's what it costs to do it. So you come in for your $5, check up. Oh, and now I'm doing this special scan. That's $5. What? $5? You're paying $150 every month. We're good. We're making more money. Now she brings in OBGYN because she's making more money. Open expensive facility. Well, so now I can bring my kids here. I can come here. I can get a scan. And if my wife gets pregnant, I can have her here too. Yeah, how much is it going to cost you? I told you $5 time you show up. Now, if you all showing up, it's $5 each, right? So 5 of you show up, it's $25. It's fine, but $5. What if I have my baby delivered? Are you going to show up here? You have it? Yeah, $5. Why? I own the facility. The person's on payroll. It's a business. I'm not making this up. This is happening now. It's a business. So if you're making money, then it can be $5. But if I got to charge every time for everything, then it's a gazillion dollars for the scan, a gazillion dollars for the test. Well, maybe I put a lab in here too. And I get hire a lab technician. Well, now I got tons of people coming here, coming in for lab work too. So now I can do one of two things. You charge separately for lab work if you want to, up to you. Kim decides what the right business model is. And or if you got your $150 a month, it's $5 for blood work. Why? I own the facility. I got the guy who does it, he's on payroll. It's fine. Even that's $5. That's how it works. That's how they can make money. Now everyone gets something cheap. So I need blood work done. I need a scan done. I got my baby, whatever. How much it cost you? $25? $25? Yeah. Because I have to scan and the dish and it's $25. Yeah, so it costs. Whoa. Now, Larry, I'm poor. I can't afford this. Well, now Kim's got a bunch of people on payroll. Now she got people who she's paying some cash for. She's looking at her tax bill and goes, that tax bill is high. Damn, I'm paying the state a lot of money in payroll taxes. You know what? I'm going to take 10% of my people. I'm going to take them on who are considered poor. I'll take them on so I don't have to pay payroll tax anymore. Boom. So now you're poor. However, your state decides poor, whatever that number is, and you need your scan and you have a baby. How much baby cost you? $25. What? $25. That's it. That's what it costs you. Because you don't even pay the $150. You don't even pay the $150 because she takes it so she gets her tax cut. So you don't even pay the $150. So you had your baby, $25. This could happen. Anyway, P says, Larry is love. Hit the like button or join for $4.99. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Lunatic Libertarian says, thank you for the $5. Call all men and women of service. The real enemy is in sight. We have confirmation of target. Intel is nominal. Engagements are authorized. Engage. I'm not sure where you're going with that one. I hope that's not violence. I don't want to do that. You're going to get me canceled on freaking YouTube. Don't do that. I'm going to say it's not because then I'll get canceled if it is. So no, it's not violence. That's like yelling at people or something. Whatever. I'm not sure. So yes. Josh says, I support direct primary care model. 100%. Yes. You are correct. Yes. Yes. Cheyenne says, what's the cost of the admins? At least 1/3, if not more. At least 1/3, if not more. So yeah, absolutely. Pete says, the problem that occurred within the healthcare industry is no different than any other industry within corporate America. And the guy obviously doesn't understand the hierarchy of corporate America. Again, I understand what happened. It wasn't the right answer. The right answer is changing the system. Whether you think that guy was a good guy or a bad guy, whatever you might think, it doesn't, it was still the wrong answer. The answer is to fix it. So yes. Over on Rumble, Texas Spies Dorian says, you are allowed to get upset, Larry. I was there with you when you were telling the huge, hold on. Do you want to see the rest of that? The huge crowds of 30, 35. Yep. I brought a South Carolina and California with me to those. Yes. For someone who is not running for anything right now, for me to show up at a place and get 35 people to show up, that's actually a big deal. Just saying. It's a big deal. A lot of people couldn't do that. So I'm happy. And I'm talking about political stuff. I'm not like some singer or some shit. Yeah. That's pretty good. So yes. All righty. Let me see if I can go grab here again. Peace goes on to say, if you're a kid or another loved one is in trouble, you want somebody to be there for you. If you don't have the financial means, you figure this out. Yeah, I think you have to, right? I think you have to. But again, you want to make a system to where it works. So yeah. Lunatic says, I'll just use alcohol and street pharmacy, more dependable. All right, let me touch the pharmacy piece. All right, I gave you your story about Kim and her place, and she hires Mike and she has the people. What if she then decides to put a pharmacy in there? Why not? So she's got a facility. Kim's not playing games. She got multiple doctors, right? She got the scanning machine. She got a place where you can have your baby born, whatever that's called, natal unit, whatever. She got that in there. And now she got a pharmacy and a lab for blood work, all in the same facility. She's not playing games. So I need pharmacy. She prescribes it right there. Here's your prescription. Go there. There we go. You're going to get literally whatever the cost is, like off the street, that kind of cost, because there's no middleman. So if it costs whatever, $1 a pill, she marks it up, whatever, 20%, whatever she marks it up, 30%, whatever she marks it up, there's a markup. So instead of being $1 a pill, it's $1.30 a pill. Done. Take your prescription. Right there. Just go there. Do it. Done. Easy day. Not paying $45 in copays. You pay whatever she's paying plus a little extra dose on top, whatever that is for her retail. Done deal. And she could even, right? If she knows, she can make a monthly piece be part of a prescription plan. Like Mark Cuban has one of those plans. You pay per month or whatever. Does that. Whatever. She can figure it out. Again, it's a business. 100%. So, all righty. Mike says, take the middleman out of the doctor-patient relationship. Yes. Absolutely yes. 100%. Kim says, Larry Sharpe, I'd walk through fire to get your system in place, but for preventive care instead of sick care, or preventive care is good. Again, the point would be, right now, you're right, Kim. Your point's, again, very valid. You and AC come up with some very valid points. You're right. It's not preventive care. That's not what we have. It is right now just sick care. That's what it is now. You're correct. But that's because the incentives are for sick care. If we change the incentives for preventive care, it will become that. I know people want an answer now. I know they do. And I have an answer that we could start now, but it's not going to fix it now. The system's been broken for about 80 years. It's not going to change overnight. Will it change over time? Yes. And again, we see it. I've shown you examples of what I'm talking about. I'm not making this up. It could happen. You can still get universal health care, and you would wind up over time making Medicare and Medicaid a minuscule part of our environment, a minuscule part. Again, you'd still have it. It would exist in case someone really somehow falls through the cracks or maybe has mental or addiction issues where they just can't do the other stuff. So something would still exist, but it would be, I mean, right now it's a third of our budget. It's $2 trillion out of $6 trillion. I'm saying it could be a couple $100 million, which is nothing compared to $2 trillion. It's nothing compared to $2 trillion. It could be a couple $100 million of a few people who are in trouble, who for some reason can't get there. Okay, I'm not even saying get rid of it. And let me try to say, well, I gotta get rid of it. I'm not even saying get rid of it. I'm saying make it so small that no one really cares. It's small, and it's a few people who fall through the cracks. Over the course of 5, 10 years, that could happen. Over the course of 5, 10 years, that could happen to where it's tiny, where we won't even need, I mean, half of what we need. Yes. Anyway, so Thomas says, hybrid surgical facility, surgery center on one side of the street, connecting to a convalescent center across the street by a pedestrian bridge to facilitate transfer of patients connected by another pedestrian bridge to a diagnostic and testing center, not a hospital. Thomas, you already thinking, brother. I love that. You already thinking. Yes, absolutely. So Mike says, I agree at Peace Logic. I think the answer is a focus on smaller scope and national. Agreed 100%. Yes. Federal solutions are an oxymoron. We need to be realistic as saving everyone all at once is impossible. Larry has a point. Thank you. Yes, I'm with you, brother. I am with you. Yes, 100%. All right. Kim goes on and goes, insurance companies cut out. Now you're talking my language. That, I think, is the whole point, right? I think that's the entire point. Yes. Andrea says there are a lot of Medicare/Medicare relationships that can be lengthy to fill out. And if they're not correct or filled, they will lose all their payments. Yes. They need admin staff to stay compliant. Correct. And imagine, Andrea, if those don't exist, you just walk up, swipe your credit card, you walk up, write them a check. As long as your banking works, you're good. Admin not required. Done. Absolutely. Yes. Mike says, I know I interviewed several doctors that went private, traveling doctor due to lockdowns. Yes. Patients share costs and have on-call direct care. Far less expensive, better solution. Yes. Every single time. Yes. John says, I also support universal for catastrophic coverage. You could do catastrophic too. There's the issue, right? So I have no problem with someone having catastrophic or even falling back to Medicare for catastrophic or having a special plan for that, right? We don't know that most people spend most money in the last final years/months of their life. That's how it works. We try desperately to keep people alive for the last years/months of their lives. We know, but the actuaries know this. So you could have a special type of insurance for that or a special facility for that, right? But not just that. If you know that, we all know this, you could have special hospitals that are there for those issues. So now they could have special plans or special insurances. And also, again, maybe that is what people would use for charity. And people think, charity, as I said, here in New York, tons of hospitals. People write massive checks to them. Massive checks. Tens of millions of dollars. They have massive endowments. What can you do that? What's wrong with that? Right? So over time now you have, I'm making this up. I know a lot, most of the people who get into, who have stage 4 cancers, a lot of money spent on them. So maybe there's a special stage 4 or stage 3. I don't know the rules, but whatever the rules are, that kind of hospital, you pay X dollars per month. Once you hit to a certain age, and you can pay if you want to be part of that, you can be part of that one. That's fine. And maybe a bunch of that is again, government could give them a massive tax break. Massive tax break. Bring on people who are not wealthy, massive tax breaks, so they get the same end of life care as anybody else does. Or maybe end of life, maybe you actually get out, right? Whatever the case may be, right? Lots of people who are lucky enough to survive cancer live for many more years afterwards. Not everyone does, obviously, but many do. But this goes back to Kim's point. If we are talking about preventative care, a whole lot less people will be getting cancer, right? We're talking about this. And over time, we will. So that won't be happening. So yes. All righty. Availability says, all I know is I was able to afford healthcare, both monthly payments and deductible for surgery before the government got their hands on it. Yes, mine is horrible. It would be better financially if I didn't have insurance. I just give the insurance company my money. It would be better financially. Financially, it's stupid for me to pay for my health insurance. It's dumb. I should not pay for it. Financially, I shouldn't do it. It makes no sense. I should be uncovered. I have not even come close to my deductible in a decade or more. I can't remember last time I even came close to it. Not even close. I just throw my money away every year. It's basically catastrophic coverage at a regular price. Josh, is what I pay. I throw my money away to insurance companies every single year. I come nowhere near my deductible, and I can't remember last time. It's been decades. Probably never. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really checked it. If I had to guess and go back, I probably never even hit my deductible. Probably never. So yeah. And it gets worse and worse. 100%. Yes. All righty. Mike says, chat and audience need to make sure we like and subscribe to Larry. Oh, thank you for that, Mike. I do appreciate that. So more can hear Larry Sharpe and see chat on his vital topic. Otherwise, he'll be suppressed to keep the status quo. That's accurate. Yes. Josh was going to say local control is the key. We are supposed to be a federalist government where government power is limited and local. Not just that, it's easier to be corrupt when there's only one place to do it. Easier to be corrupt. Yes, you're totally right. All righty. Let's see, we're down here. Minor Threat says medical and Social Security are some of the most popular programs ever started. True. True. Again, they are taking it though, and they're looking at it based upon that or nothing, right? That's the issue. And this is my point, Minor Threat. I'm not saying to end Medicare. You never heard me say that once. I've never said it. I'm saying provide a better answer. And what's what I'm saying? My thesis, maybe that's the right word, is that people will choose the better answer. To Mike's point, I'm not forcing it. No force. If you say, Larry, your idea is stupid, I'm going to stay on Medicare. Okay, stay. I think that within a couple of years, you're like, that's dumb. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going where these guys are going. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're not wrong. They're popular. But compared to nothing, yes. What I'm saying, what you always hear me say, if you guys pay attention to what I'm saying, what you always hear me say, I never say burn it all down like libertarians always say. I never say that. I say government's monopoly and a crappy monopoly. All monopolies are bad. Government monopoly is also bad. So instead of doing that, provide another option. Provide that private sector option. That's realistic, that people can choose if they want to. Now, if government's so good, people will just go to that and that won't work. Okay, I'm wrong. Medicare is the best thing in the goddamn world. Okay, I'm wrong. No worries. But I know I'm not wrong. Again, because the wealthy don't use it. That's how I know I'm not wrong. But maybe I am. Maybe the wealthy are all stupid. Maybe. Everyone will say Medicare. But if they go off, Medicare has to do one of two things. Get better or go away. I'm okay with either. So yes. All righty. Let's see if I can go down here. All right. Lunatic says, appreciate you. I still am developing more hate than love for this world. I am not. Lunatic, I still have hope. I still have hope. Yes, I still have hope. So, Instafence says, it means children shouldn't be born. I disagree completely, Instafence. I think we should have more children being born. I think children are great. I want to have more. Yeah, I'm the opposite on that one. I think children should be born, and we should be going out of our way to be treating our children better, to be training them better, to be thinking better, doing more. We're not. He goes on to say, black babies matter. They do. That's an accurate statement also. So yes, they do matter. I agree completely. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. Martha says, not having a public option is insane. No excuse. Hundreds of billions for defense, but not that. What a joke. Agreed. I'm not saying you should have a public option. I'm saying keep it. What Josh is saying. Medicare-for-All isn't the answer, but I'm not getting rid of Medicare. I never said it. Never said it. Yes. Minor Threat says, I pay $600 a month for Kaiser because self-employed. Yes. It's nuts. But I would rather you not have to pay that. Imagine, Jonathan, right now you pay $600 a month and you have a massive deductible and they're going to stop you if X, Y, and Z. Imagine and why do I say 150? Because that's a number that was actually used for lots of people. Again, if you look right now, you can find places, I don't know where you live, Minor Threat, but in certain areas of the country where you can literally drop $150 a month and get actual health care. Yes, good quality healthcare, $150 a month. That exists. Now, I know where you live. It may not be where you live. Not here in New York City for sure. But I'm just saying, there are places we can get that. In New York City, $600? Yes, you could. Of course you could. Absolutely. So, yeah. Any case. All righty. Grab a couple more of these. Grace says, the government even controls the number of physicians we have. Yes, correct. All of those. Oh my God, I've got to grab some of these super chats. I missed the super chats popping up, guys. I apologize. Let me grab them now if I could. All righty. Let's see here. Lunatic says, the people have been summoned. Systems are down. Okay. P says, Mangione is a symptom of our mental health in USA. I'll go one step further, Peace. He is a symptom of our broken system, period. He is a symptom of us, as what I mentioned, believing that no one cares and nothing changes. Why? Because no one cares and nothing changes. He's not wrong, right? That's the issue. He's not wrong. Now, what he did, I'm not saying what he did was right, but his mindset, I get it. That's why I keep saying I understand it. Yes, I'm just going further than what you're saying, Dean. I'm agreeing with you and going further. Ryan, thank you for $2, my friend. I appreciate all the super chats, guys. I really do. Old systems are FUBAR. That's correct. And for those who know what FUBAR is, it is effed up beyond all recognition. Yes, and you always want to say faith, hope, and charity greater than government. Agreed. Remember something. When you add government, you by default remove community. Why? Adding government creates a monopoly by default. I wish it didn't, but it does. So you've got to break it purposely. You've got to stop the government monopoly to allow for local communities to help. The reason why you hear me always say I'm not trying to burn it all down, because people do need help. It's a fact. People either are unlucky, people make mistakes, people in wrong place, wrong time, whatever happens. People fall down. It's what happens. They make mistakes or they're unlucky or whatever. It happens. So someone's got to help them. I'm not saying they should be helped. I'm saying government's the wrong answer. I'm saying one system is the wrong answer. The number one thing you need, and this is what Peace just said, when you're having a problem, whatever the problem is, financial problem, medical problem, whatever the problem is, you're having a problem. The first thing you need, first thing, it's not a government program. The first thing you need is someone who cares. That's the first thing. When you have that, you can now figure out what the next step is. Is it a government program? Maybe. Or is it a doctor? Maybe. Is it a therapist? Maybe. Is it just a big hug? Maybe. But you don't know until you find someone who cares. Government cannot care. It's not a thing. It doesn't do that. It's not how it works. Charity can care. Community can care. Get the right community, get the right charity. Someone cares. Now you move forward on that. I completely agree. Now you find the right thing. 100%. I agree. Yes. All righty. All right. See if I can do this if I can. Grace says, nurses with masters are making as much as some docs now, and there's still a shortage of nurses. That's how stressful healthcare is. Yes. Oh, yeah. Healthcare workers are always complaining. And they're right. Because we limit them for no reasons. Yes. Andrea says, if doctors want to make house calls, then they would need to be licensed to be home healthcare providers. Why? Exactly. Why? Yes. Insanely dumb. Yes. Dreamer says, Larry Sharpe, do you think that we'll ever stop raising the national debt ceiling in our lifetime? Is it even possible at this point? It is possible. Way unlikely. There has to be, here's the problem. If anyone could do it, it is one of two types of people. One, a Trump-like figure, means someone so outside, or the reverse, literally a Biden-like figure, someone who is so establishment. Only those two types could do it, and neither one's gonna. But though in other words, it could be a Biden type, meaning only Nixon can go to China, right? The most, establishment guy on the planet could do it because he's doing it? It'd be like mind blown, right? If someone like a Biden type would do it, or someone who's aggressive enough, like a Trump. The problem is this is not Trump's priority at all. He has totally different priorities. This is not his priority at all. So I don't see either one. You'd have to find someone like a Ron Paul type, who is that type of the outsider who that's his boom priority. So could it be done? In theory, yes. I don't see it unless I go back to my local piece. There has to be a state that fights back. We don't have that. States don't fight back at all because they're all tied to the federal government with billions and billions of dollars. You'd have to have a state, which is what I was talking about, was New York State creating its own sovereign fund, so it would be able to ignore federal funds, because the way the federal government controls each state is through money, billions upon billions of dollars. Just in like Medicare, I think New York State gets, is it got to be $20 billion more? I mean, it's tens of billions of dollars the federal government gives New York State just for Medicare and Medicaid. I mean, and $8 billion, I think, now for education. That's just $28 billion for those two, right? And it's given Uncle Joe's written checks for over $100 billion to New York State in his time. Over $100 billion written checks for New York State. How do you say no when Daddy keeps writing you checks? You live in Daddy's house. You got to do what Daddy says. So we have to get a governor to break that, and then saying this is wrong. No. Once that begins to happen, others will do it. Now local people say stop, then it can happen. But until then, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until we eventually go under. Or my gut tells us that if we don't change this, it's going to make they're going to make a CBDC, central bank digital currency, CBDC. They will create a CBDC and just rebuild the dollar and say, our new digital dollar is worth this. And people go, how is it? It's not worth that. We will bomb you. Okay, it's worth that. Done. It's worth what we said it's worth. Why? Because we'll bomb you if you say no. Oh, okay. That's what I think we're going to do. The Chinese already have one, right? They already have a CBDC already, which they're already saying is worth X because we're China. Now, luckily for most people who are dealing with now in Africa, the Chinese don't have a massive army. They don't know how to invade. It's not their thing. They don't do what we do. They don't bomb, they do that kind of stuff, right? They don't do it. So the Africans now are going, no, we don't agree it's worth that, and we're not paying. And the Chinese go, no, we have a deal. Yeah, I know that, but we're not paying. Well, then we're going to take this property. You're not going to. Well, yeah, because the deal. We don't care. We have guns, lots of them, and we will throw our troops at you and kill all your people. And you saw recently that they've thrown Chinese people out in certain places. After throwing them out now. Get out. Why? Because we have guns and you don't. Get out. That's it. They won't do it to Americans. They won't. Because Americans go, oh, you throw us out? We're going to bomb you into oblivion. And our CIA is going to take care of your government. And so we say our dollar is worth X, so it's worth X, right? And they go, yes. Yes, it's worth that, whatever you say. That, sadly, I think that's where it's going to go. I hope I'm wrong. I doubt it, though. All righty. P says, what's the best method of protest? Write a letter to your representative, 3,000 people in your face. How can we effectively heard? Yes. Generally speaking, I'm going to give you 3 ways that actually work. And in order of them working. Written letter, phone call, showing up. Showing up is a lot. It's a lot for me to ask of you because I don't know where you live, where is your representative, when are they in town, can you take off? It's a big thing. But showing up, wow, does that matter? Like if you could get you and 6 people to show up and then 3 more people to show up and then 4 people to show up at their office, preferably if they're there. Even if they're not, it still works. But it's best if they're physically, even if they don't see you. Make an appointment. Even if they don't give you an appointment, show up anyway. Just show up and say, we're here. We care about this. This has got to change. This is what we're talking about. But boom. Showing up really, because remember, they don't care about you at all. What they care about is their power and their seat. And if they honestly think they will lose their seat, that's the only way they ignore a lobbyist. The only way they ignore a lobbyist is if they think they'll lose their seat. That's it. Otherwise, they will follow a lobbyist. The only way they honestly believe, man, I might lose my seat. Okay, lobbyist, because I can't get your cash if I'm not in this seat. So I'll have to get money from some other lobbyist. I'll find money someplace else. I'm getting rid of you because I'm going to lose my seat. That's the only way. So to answer your question, those 3. Physically show up if you can. I know I'm asking a lot to do so. So I get if you can't. Make a phone call. That does work. Write a letter. Yes. Not an email. Not an email. A letter. Have it come in the mail. That does matter. Because people who write letters vote. People who send emails, people who go on Twitter, you write a letter, you vote. And they know that. Like they know that. You wrote a letter, you're going to vote. They are aware of that completely. So I hope that's helpful. So yes. All righty. Kim says, back when I was an auto worker with good insurance every time I seen my doctor, they set me up for every test and scan. You can imagine. Yes, milking my insurance. After the third appointment in 1 week, I'll put an end to it. Yes. And again, not because they're bad doctors, because that's the system. That's the system. Yes, absolutely. That is exactly the system. So yeah. Lindsay says we need a Discord platform. Guys, I have one. It's a lot. I have a lot of stuff. I just don't use it all. Maybe I got to stop working and just do this, but yeah, maybe. So yes. Cludy says, first action point, become rich. Yes, forget everything else I said. Kolidi's right. Dean, forget all that stuff. Become rich. Once you're rich, they will care what you think. Then just call them up and say, hi, I'm Rich Donor Guy, who you listen to because I'm Rich Donor Guy, and I can give you more money than the lobbyist. Do as I say. And he will go, yes, sir. Kolidi's right. That's a better answer. My answer could work, but Kolidi's is a better answer. Get rich, buy him, and this, or her, it's often him, it's Senate, it's him. Anyway, if it's the House, could be her. If it's Senate, it's him. Anyway, buy him if it's a senator, and you're good. Done deal. Easy day. He says, my state rep is MAGA, AF. Only thing he gives a F about is cooking off his AR. That's actually funny. But he does not want to lose his seat. And the advantage of a MAGA guy now, there's an advantage now. Trump is talking trash about ending Obamacare. So if you could actually give him an actual plan to end Obamacare, he might be open to hearing it. Now, this isn't actually end Obamacare because I'm not ending anything. This makes everything better. So, but you could tell him that, well, this is a way to get rid of Obamacare. You could tackle Obamacare this way. He might hear that. It's how you spin it, man. You could spin it that way. He's the guy who got the plan to get rid of Obamacare. Good work. Yes. You can do it. Absolutely. So, Grace, healthcare in Europe. If you aren't rich, it's like going to McDonald's in terms of service. National healthcare, which removes dollar incentives, removes the service too. It does. And you find people, sadly, many times, two things wind up happening in those systems. Is it better than nothing? Yes. So yes, it's better than nothing. That's true. Is it better than wealthy people? No. In Europe, they have two choices. One, the wealthy people, as Mike said, they pack up and fly to America because they're wealthy. Or they have what's called supplemental insurance, which is the greatest insurance in the world, and they go wherever they want to go. That's what they do. So yes. Two things begin happening in those systems. One, they ration care. They have to. They ration care. And two, they make decisions about what you can get. You can get what they say you can get. So that means I need you to get X and Y. Oh, we can't get that for 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months, lists upon lists upon lists. The last time I checked was about 6 months ago or so in that area. Maybe last year? No, about 6 months ago, maybe. In England, the UK, not England, all of UK, there were over 7 million people on waiting lists. 7 million. That's over 10% of the population. So, do you like it better than nothing? Yes, better than nothing. Do you like it? No. To Mike's point, Mike Voss said it early on. You're wealthy, you don't stay there. You fly over here. Or to Frank's point, you fly to where his friend is in the Banana Republic. You go there. Yeah, that's what you do. So, yes. All righty. You guys give me a lot of... okay, Thomas says, wealthy get concierge medicine. The poor get soup kitchen, breadline medicine. Yes, yes, and yes. I wish that wasn't true. Yes. Khalidi goes on. Sad how the answers always follow the money. It is, and we think it's somehow better. It's not. Yes. Michael says, Larry dropped an F-bomb. I did get a little excited. It's true. Don't get mad at me. I'm human. I get excited sometimes. I do. I do. Absolutely. He says, yep, the rich healthcare execs will corrupt anything. It goes without saying, but we need to get money out of politics. Also true. Yes. Shan says, Dan, Larry, I haven't seen you this PO before. Because I've been talking about this for literally 6 years. For 6 years. I've been telling people how New York State's broken and how it's getting worse for 6 years. And people don't listen and people don't care and they all know it. I have kept my policies on LarrySharpe.com for 6 years. And I literally said, take them and do them. If you watch my Joe Rogan interview in 2018, Joe Rogan asked me at the end of the interview, he goes, Larry, did you make these policies up? I said, yes, but my team, not just me and my team together, we made these policies up. He goes, you better lock these down. I said, why? He said, people take them. I said, take them. I don't have to run anymore. Fix my state. You think I want to run? When I run, it is punishment. I'm not joking. Why do you think people run once and leave and never do it again? Because it's goddamn punishment. Running for all people think it's easy, it's fun. It's not. The guys who just do paper stuff and sit at home and complain online, yeah, that's easy for them. You run a real campaign, it is punishment. I would leave my house and not come back for 9 days. Not working. After my first run, I was $100,000 in debt. $100,000 in debt. I had to pay all that back. After my second run, which was a disaster, my second one was even worse. I was $40,000 in debt. Lost friends, lost family. My name is dragged through the mud. People attack me, call me names everywhere. My whole life has to be out, and still is to this day. Every mistake I've ever made is now public. Everything I've ever done is freaking public. It's punishment. And half the people don't respect you and think you're an idiot for even trying. And then they attack you, do anything wrong. You got to be perfect, or they start attacking you, calling you names. And then people who are utter idiots and imbeciles attack you like you're stupid. You put up with all of that. Running is horrible. So people don't do it. It's terrible. That's why only the worst people do it. I happen to be bulletproof in many ways. Not that way. But anyway, in many ways. But it's hard. Why would I run? I would rather them take all my plans. I wish Kathy Hochul would somehow, I don't even want to say it. It's so stupid. Somehow she magically goes, I was so wrong. Larry Sharpe was right. Let me take all of his ideas. I wish that would happen. That'd be my Christmas wish. That'd be my Christmas miracle. Kathy Hochul goes, oh my God, Larry Sharpe was right the whole time, and takes all my policies to fix New York State. I'd never run. She'd fix it all. Be amazing. So yeah, I get PO'd because I've spent 6 years screaming at a brick wall, being insulted, being attacked, being called names, being called dumb, while my state continues to collapse and people keep dying and no one gives the answer that I have put on my website for 6 years. Just take it. Call me up. If I honestly, and I don't, but if I honestly believed, again, I don't, but if I honestly believed that Governor Hochul wanted my help in fixing something and she called me, I would absolutely jump on board. 100%. If I honestly thought she wanted to fix things. She does not, and that would never happen. But in my magical world I've just made up, in my Christmas miracle world I've just fantasized about, in that world, of course I would. I would show up and I would try to fix things immediately. Of course I would. I wouldn't care who it was. I don't care if it's Kathy Hochul, Lee Zeldin, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. I don't care. If they actually were going to fix things, I would jump aboard in 5 seconds. They're not going to. So yes, I do get PO because I've been punching a wall for forever. Yes. Grace says, fun fact I learned at nursing school, the only money made in healthcare comes from private insurance. Healthcare makes zero money off Medicare. Yeah, they're just paying the bills. And that was the reason why things were such a disaster during the lockdowns, Grace. This is how they control you. This is how they control the hospitals. What they did during the lockdowns, those you don't know, is they literally ordered the hospitals to not do any elective surgeries. None. Can't do any. They ordered them. You can't do it. Yes, we have government-run healthcare in New York State, and it ranks 38th out of 51. We have it. It's already here. Government-run healthcare is in New York State. Already here. You can't do it. You must only do people who got the bug. That's it. That's your priority. They went, but to your point, great, but we make all our money off of that. Yes, and you can't do it. Otherwise, we'll give you no Medicare payments. None. We'll freeze all Medicare payments. That's what I said. We'll give you no money. No. 1/3 of their budget is that. They can't run a hospital. They said, but then I can't run my hospital then because I don't have the money. I have to close the hospital. You can't close the hospital down. Why? We're the government. You can't close the hospital down. Okay, so I can't make any money. And what? They said, tell you what we're going to do. True story. If you think I'm making this up, just look it up. It's a true story. You know I got receipts. If you want me to get receipts, I'll get receipts. Government said, okay, this is New York State. I'll tell you what we do. Every COVID, well, I said the word, hopefully I'm going to get canceled. Every bug, every bug patient that you take care of that passes will give you $26,000. Oh. So that's how we get paid. That's how you get paid. Okay. And I'm not joking. This actually happened again. Check it if you want to make this up. I didn't make this up. Check it. Guy gets hit. He's in a motorcycle accident. Comes to the emergency room. Check him for the bug. He's got it. He dies. They called it a bug death. He was in a motorcycle accident. But he popped positive. They called it that. Why? $26K. Happened all over the place. So all these massive bug people passing away, yeah, they passed away with the bug. They didn't pass away from the bug because New York State said it didn't matter. They had the bug, $26K. Yes. So hospitals reported everybody who had it and passed as a bug death. If you think I'm making this up, you can just do a simple Google search. That literally happened in New York State. I'm assuming it happened in other states also. I know New York State very well. That's why I talk about New York State, but I'm sure it happened in your state. That happened in my state. So again, guy has a heart attack. Test him. Pop positive. Bug death. But he had a heart attack. I know. $26,000. Oh, bug death. Yep, bug death. But he had a heart attack. $26K. Oh, yeah, bug death. That's right. Got that. Bug death. This guy tripped and fell down the stairs. Test him. Test him. He might not have it. He got it now. Bug death. 26,000. That's how that worked. That's what happens. So yes, you are totally accurate. That's how they control you. It's always through the cash. I wish it wasn't. Ryan says government sucks at literally everything. True. Josh says government on health doesn't work. It does work just poorly. So yes, just poorly. Yes. Yes. Roy says FDR nowhere as great as I once thought. But in fairness, the crisis he faced were unprecedented in our history. And while we now know many policies had negative results on future ramifications, intense depression, suffering had to be addressed, and growing capitalism system were unlike today's economy. Virtually every person who lost a job led to zero income into a household. Such a crisis had to be addressed. Unfortunately, many emergency policies became permanent. Agreed. Do I think that FDR was trying to harm? No. I don't think so at all, Roy. I don't think so. Do I think most people who were in his world thought they were doing bad things? No, I think you're right. I think most of them believed in the right thing. FDR, to be forward, was far more of a socialist / Soviet than he was a capitalist. You might go, that's a good thing. That's a bad thing. That's one of the reasons why he supported the Soviet Union so much. It's why he was so pro-Russia, pro-Soviet Union. That's why we had a Cold War because of him. That's why he wanted to do unconditional surrender. That's why he did all this. That's why he hated the Japanese. That's why he hated Asian people. That's why he was also a terrible, he's a terrible bigot on top of it. Put the Japanese in prison camps, stop Japanese from coming to America, put all kind of stuff, all kind of horrible policies against the Japanese to ensure they would bomb us so he can get into the war, all those things. But yeah, and I'll put that, and you're right. He did not know how to handle the depression at all. He did not know how to handle it at all. So I think both can be true. So, all righty. Let's see if I can go down here. AC says, actually, Biden stuck with Harris as an FU to Pelosi and Obama forcing him out. I'm not sure you're wrong on that one. Yeah. Grace says, my best friend is a multimillionaire and the dental care was so bad and expensive, she needed a ton of work. So she just came back to the U.S. Yeah. There we go. She just came back. Clearly says CT scan. Thank you. CT scan. MRIs. Thank you. So yes. So you buy an MRI machine. Thank you. You buy the MRI machine. That's what I was talking about. Thank you earlier on. I appreciate that. Yes. Andrea says, you rarely see private practices anymore. As a kid, my doctor was part of a private practice office. Yes. Yes. You're correct. Why would they? You can't survive. Ryan says, Larry, I can confirm what you said. As a former janitor at a VA hospital, the government is a nightmare to work on work-related hiring issues. Also, a small town, just towns away, way too much drama. Yep. Larry says, Larry care. I like it. That's good. Let's do Larry care. I like that. That's good. Yes. I want my $5. That's good. Yes. For you, $5. I love that. That's awesome. That is good. All righty. Let's see if I can go down here. Claudia goes labor and delivery. Yeah, you can do a labor and delivery room, and now you're ready to rock and roll. Imagine if you had that. Yes. I mean, you could make everything better. That's the piece. You can make everything better. Absolutely. Yes. Michael says, I'm on long-term disability and barely my deductible each year. Yes. Yes. Exactly my point. Absolutely. So I'm looking over at Rumble, and Joe has become a supporter. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Yes, I do appreciate it. Every little bit counts. Yes. Pickerel says, my mom didn't have any problems getting her prescriptions until she switched her Medicare to United. I tried to dissuade her from it, but there we are. Yeah. Yeah. Kim says, Larry, you give me hope. I haven't had much hope in over the past 15 years, which lived in the gloom. Because there are ways of fixing things, guys. They do exist. You can fix these things. You just got to get people at the local level to begin to move forward. You have to. That's the most important piece. Yes. Roy says, the guy who did the deed is a symptom of ideological indoctrination. That too. I agree with both of those things. Yes. That too. 100%. I think both of those things are true. Yes. All right. Ryan says, I'm still reading Larry's F-bomb. I am human. To be fair, for those of you who don't know, I'm a Marine. And those of you who know me well, who've been in events with me, who chat up me on the phone, I have a potty mouth. I try to not use it when I'm in public and speak about things like that. But I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps, 7 years, almost 8 years, 7 years in the Marine Corps with a terrible potty mouth. So it's still here. I also grew up in the ghetto in the 70s. So yes, that's all I'm saying. I absolutely do. However, I try to keep it down. That's all. Yes. Josh says, if Republicans in New York were smart, they would draft you a governor. If they cared about winning. The problem is in states that are deep red or deep blue, the other side knows they can't win. They're about to trying, right? I'll give you an example of Nebraska. Nebraska, the Democrats didn't run a candidate for Senate. Not state Senate, U.S. Senate. They literally did not run a candidate. Like, can't win, can't raise money, why bother, right? If they can't grift, why bother? Deep red state, right? Utah, deep red state. Didn't run a candidate for Senate last time either. Didn't run a candidate. Democrats said not going to run a candidate. Republicans are still running candidates in New York State. They haven't gone to that level yet, but they can't win. They know they can't. So they're not paying attention. Their goal now is to grift. So if you have a deep red or deep blue state, the opposite party's goal is just to grift. And when they can't grift, they just stop. So the Nebraskan Democrats have been grifting for years. Now they can't grift, so they stopped. Utah Democrats have been grifting for years. They can't, they just stopped. New York Republicans are still grifting. So they're going to keep going. They will change, right? Eventually they'll stop. Eventually they'll stop. Yeah. So You's Been Bad says, sounds like fraud. Who's going to investigate them? Right? Who's gonna? Yep. Andrea says, there were many small hospitals that went bankrupt from the C-19 regulations. Yes, you're right. They couldn't survive. They could not survive. Yes. They destroyed them. Yes. P says, Larry getting ghetto, give me more. Thank you for $2. I'm not gonna go there, my friend. Not gonna go there. Andrea says, I grew up as a military brat. That F-bomb was nothing compared to the full-on swear sentences I've heard. Yes, swear words can be verbs, nouns, and adjectives. Correct. Yes, and yes. All true. Yes. Yeah, Josh goes, yes, hospitals got paid for every bug diagnosis. That is correct. Absolutely true. 100% accurate. And that's the whole point. So, in any case. Guys, I'm going to ask you one more time if I could please click the button known as LIKE. Yes, Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please click that button. If you haven't, it's because you hate me and now I'm mad. So yes, please do so. Please share this. If you haven't, repost it someplace, put it wherever you want to. This is an important topic. People want to hear about it. And they get mad at me too and yell at me. It's fine. If you aren't following me already on Facebook or X or Rumble, why not? Please do so. Subscribe to me on YouTube if you haven't. Remember, 2 YouTube channels, either one of those. Thank you so much for all of the YouTube super chats. And of course, the Rumble rants. I appreciate them all. If you can become a member on either one, please do so. If you can become a member on YouTube, either Larry Sharpe or Sharpe Way, it's $4.99 per month. Keeps me going, more of this and less working. And then on Rumble also, $4.99 per month, only during the live for Rumble. Very specific. You have to click the subscribe button. This weekend, Friday, tomorrow, I'll be on again. And I'm going back because people have been asking for this. So I'm going back. I am doing tomorrow, unless something crazy comes up, I'm going to be talking about how libertarians should have dealt with World War I, the Depression, and World War II. People should love that. I hope that one, some of you guys have been asking me for that one, so I'll do that one. And then Saturday, 7 p.m., I'm doing the Best Of show, the year-end show, Best Of Top 10. I'll be doing that on Saturday and Sunday. Special show, 2 to 6, 4 hours. History of the world. Oh, my God. Can Larry do it? I'll try to do as much as I can. I always do it from my memory, which isn't always perfect. But you guys will be there. So if I screw up, you will decide that I'm wrong, and it'll be back and forth as always. Guys, once this is over, please do me a favor and give me, if you could, a comment. Ryan, $5, thank you. I myself learned the F-bomb from the Marine Corps, and most from my mother, being raised in rural Missouri in the 1990s, also contributed. Yes, my mom learned English from literally military guys. So yeah, that's how she spoke. 100%. That's how she spoke. So I get it. Guys, please keep it if you would. As I said, please give me a comment afterwards. You know who likes that? Mr. Rhythm, Al Gore. Rhythm. He loves it. Please do that. I will see you all very soon.